Demographics help you identify specific segments of a population that have shared characteristics. If you are marketing your products or services over the internet, you'll want to figure out who your customers are and think about which internet marketing platforms will allow you to reach them. One of the first ways to use demographic information is to identify your customers. And a great source for this kind of information is our free public website at census.gov. Though the census is most famous for the every 10-year decennial count, they began conducting many different recurring statistical demographic surveys in 1947 and now have over 200 sampling programs. These include the American Community Survey, Population Estimates, the Economic Census, the Survey of Business Owners, Business Dynamics Statistics, and many, many more. That's a mountain of data. So how do you look at it in a way that's useful to your business? You view demographic information through some pretty useful apps, like the American Fact Finder and this one, the newer Census Business Builder. In this application, you put in your industry or business, your location, and it generates a report of your potential customers and competition. One very useful aspect of exploring the census is to consider populations that may not fit the image in your head of your typical customer. There are the typical demographic segments to consider, like age, gender, socioeconomic status, education, ethnicity. But how might you craft messages for households with 2 versus 8 members? How would a high percentage of people without healthcare fit into a marketing campaign? How do you normally reach people who are monolingual in a language other than English? What if there's a teenage population bubble in your town? Exploring census data is a way to expand your own view of who your customers are and open up new market segments. The next step in the process is to determine your platforms. Where are you going to spend the time and energy to establish a business presence? Let's look at the big internet marketing channels. First, there's Google for search and search marketing, with a global reach and nearly 80% market share in the United States. Then there are the social media channels. Use of social media has grown in the last 10 years to the point that Pew estimates that 69% of Americans currently use at least one social media platform, and that anywhere between 45 and 72% of those use it daily. The platform that dominates the scene is Facebook, with 68% of Americans using it. Although, Pew began measuring Google-owned YouTube this year, and it beat out Facebook at 73% usage. A range of other platforms, including Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, and Facebook-owned Instagram and WhatsApp, are still very healthy, with between 22 and 35% of Americans using each one of them. Of course, people often use more than one platform, and this handy chart from Pew's 2018 survey gives you some insights into what platforms have high reciprocity. For example, 90% of Facebook users also use LinkedIn. But only 40% of LinkedIn users use Snapchat. So aside from saying, wow, like almost everyone is using this stuff, how can demographics help here? Well, the demographics of some of the platforms stand out. For instance, higher income levels and more professionals on LinkedIn. Women are bigger users of Instagram and Pinterest. They are over 80% of Pinterest users, and over 40% of all American women are on Instagram. And although Facebook dominates the scene, teenagers are more interested in Snapchat and Instagram, as shown in this fascinating chart from Statista.com. WhatsApp is a messaging service that Facebook purchased because of its global reach. In countries with high messaging costs, WhatsApp provided a secure and simple messaging service that took off. But this ad-free service is quickly gaining ground in the US with 18 to 44-year-olds. So part of the demographics challenge is to determine which platforms will give you the best access to your desired customers. You want to be on a platform where your type of customer is more likely to find you, either through ads or through shares. Finally, there are demographic targeting opportunities within the paid ads in some of the platforms. As a note, not every platform, like WhatsApp, have paid ads. If you are going to create campaigns that include paid advertising in Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and others, you can typically create targeted ads based on demographics such as location, age, gender, relationship status, education, and profession. Demographic targeting that is available through social media allows you to spend less while creating more effective ads that are customized to the customers that you actually want to reach.